Welcome back to Entertainment Talk. Today I want to talk about Disney Plus's rise of success and the BBC's current struggle. Kind of compare the two, talk about Freeview as opposed to streaming services and what's going on basically. There's two pieces of news that have come out, both from Disney and one regarding the BBC. We'll go to the BBC one first. There was an interview with somebody on BBC, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, and they've essentially talked about, not just because of the coronavirus, but because of maybe other things as well, that there's two particular key points that came out of the interview, and one of which is that BBC is struggling to maintain younger viewers, and the other one is that the BBC is going to face some budget cuts. The number that was thrown in was 20%. We'll see if that actually happens, or we'll see what happens in the future and whatnot. But yeah, that was the piece of news that came out from the BBC, or from an interview on BBC that was yesterday. And it's interesting when they talk about young viewers, because we'll get onto Disney Plus in a minute, which is a family-friendly PG-13 maximum streaming service. On the opposite side, the news that came out from Disney Plus, which is that they had a goal of, it was either 58 or 60 million subscribers. It's now actually reached 60 million subscribers. I think the goal was 58 million. The goal for Disney Plus was 58 million subscribers in 5 years, and they've done it in 8 months. Now talk about achieving your goal early, because you set out to do something in 5 years and you do it in just over half of 1 year. So you can kind of see immediately where I'm going with this a bit. The BBC's struggling, they're struggling to maintain young viewers, they probably haven't got the right programs or the right shows to attract younger viewers. I don't imagine younger viewers want to watch things like EastEnders. Now instead of me coming across as if I'm trying to like push the BBC down and Disney Plus is the best and Disney Plus is the future or whatever, that's not quite what I'm here to do. You do have shows on BBC that do potentially attract a younger audience. You've got things like, the new Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Well, not really new. She's on her second, going on the third season. Possibly a Christmas episode later this year. You do have some of the other BBC stuff as well, some of the other kids stuff. But I'll pose this question to the audience here. Let's say you're with young kids from your family, or you're looking after someone's child, or some sort of situation like that, where you're in either a family situation. Well, there's two situations actually. Either you're in a family situation where you've got family and friends around or whatever, and some of them are young, some of them are, let's say, 13 or younger. I'm going off the PG-13 thing here, so younger audience. And you want to put something on for put some content, or maybe you're just going to have a chat, or you're going to have a meal, or whatever the situation's going to be. And granted, there is other options. There's Amazon, Netflix, there's ITV, Channel 4, all sorts of other things. But let's stick to Disney Plus and BBC and BBC iPlayer here, just because these are the two that we're actually talking about here today. Are you more likely to put BBC One on, or are you likely to scroll through the decades worth of content on Disney Plus? Now, I'm not saying Mandalorian for definite. Maybe if some of your family haven't seen Mandalorian, you can sit there for not necessarily the whole day watching the whole series, but some of it. Maybe you sit there and watch some of it, and that would happen. Now, BBC, as far as I know, as the last time I checked, doesn't have any Disney content, and you've got certain more adult shows that are on BBC. You've got things like The Fall, you've got things like Luther, you've got things like Line of Duty. Are you going to play those episodes of TV when you have your both older and younger family with you, or if you're looking to occupy young children or kids for a little while? No, you're not going to put those shows on, are you? You've got the PG-13 appropriate content on Disney Plus, and Disney's currently winning that battle. Now, the other side of things is, like I've just said a bit earlier, with the two different figures here. You've got the percent cut with budgets, and they're struggling to get younger viewers in. I think the younger viewers thing is main. This is just my opinion. This isn't one of the facts that came out in the two pieces of news. I think it is because Disney does have more attractive programs for younger viewers and for just family stuff. I mean, you look at something like The Mandalorian, and it's suitable for everybody, and adults will watch it, young people will watch it, and all that sort of thing. So they've got that going for them. And obviously, when you think of Disney Plus, that's the big current seller, isn't it? I mean, they're going to eventually have, Falcon Winter Soldier and some other stuff, and apparently Mulan and Black Widow are going to be on there to purchase soon. But that's a different conversation for a different time. The point I'm trying to get across is when you're around your family or your friends, or you've got young kids with you, or it's a situation where maybe you want to get some stuff done around the house, you've got your kids with you, maybe it's the summer holidays, which it actually is at the moment in the UK, and you want to, I'm not saying like stick a tablet in their, an iPad or something in their face and occupy them, but let's say you want to just put them in front of the TV for an hour, maybe you want to get some stuff done, maybe you want to, I don't know, do any number of things an adult would do, make a phone call or do something like that, and you want to just occupy them for a bit. I'll ask the question again, are you going to put on BBC iPlayer and let them loose, or are you going to put on Disney Plus and let them loose? You're probably going to put on Disney Plus, because otherwise, if you put them on like BBC iPlayer, they are likely to come across something like Luther, where, adult violent things are happening, and in lots of other shows, Line of Duty and The Fall and some other stuff that's on there. So yeah, that's another scenario where Disney Plus is winning. How can BBC tackle this? Well, you do some more appealing shows that are for the younger audience, because what literally came out in that report yesterday is that they're struggling to do exactly that. So clearly there is an actual struggle for BBC. I want to go to so that's my content argument there with the whole piece of news about they're struggling to get younger audience in. Disney Plus clearly isn't, because they've absolutely smashed their goal to pieces of the 5 years. I think the goal was 58 million subscribers, I think, in 5 years. They've passed that anyway because they got to 60 million, and they did it in 8 months. So that just, talk about raging success, and then you take into account their box office stuff from last year, and Disney's doing very, very well right now. Yes, I know the parks are closed and they're losing a bit of money there, but they're succeeding a lot in other areas, I think, as well, and that sort of thing. So the other side I wanted to go to with this was the budget stuff. As I've just pointed out, with Disney and all their subscribers for that is really helping them to run things like Disney Plus and other things as well. And then you go to BBC, where they've got this weird, TV license kind of format, which is old, outdated, it's no good. And then there's been the conversation around, okay, should people, I think it's over 75 or over 65, elderly people, whether or not they should have to pay it, and the argument there and all that sort of thing. The point that I come across is, subscription services such as Netflix, Disney Plus, all these sorts of other ones, that's the way to go, because you can easily switch it off, and it's not quite so simple to do that with TV license and that sort of thing. It's just an old, outdated model that doesn't work. Speaking of old and outdated models, you've got the issue of Freeview as well. Now, to me, that this whole BBC struggle ties in both with their channels, so like when you have things that are broadcast at certain times, and the iPlayer, because it's involving with both. The budget cut and stuff that they talked about is going to affect both. It's going to affect their TV programs, which are going to be on both. Whether or not you're watching EastEnders at 7:30 or whatever it is, which by the way I think they've run out of episodes for, or you're watching something at any time on the iPlayer, it's going to affect both.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Donnie, and I host the Adulting with Donnie podcast. And this is not the show to listen to if you're trying to be a better adult. I started this podcast as a way to offload some thoughts that I have throughout the week. My topics vary widely every week. Movies I've seen, guns and gun control, sex, people that are stupid, why I don't care about celebrity opinions, TV shows, snowmobiling. The list goes on and on. I'm always taking topic suggestions from fans of the show too. So join me each week on Adulting with Donnie as I pour some bourbon and allow you to see the inner workings of the mind of a madman. live free, and rant hard.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
Today's sponsor is Kualu. If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. To me, from what I've been looking at over the last couple of years, and I've been saying this over and over again, there's just more money to be made in the streaming service market. I could be slightly wrong about that. That's kind of my opinion from the fact that we've seen. Is I've looked around in the last couple of years, and I know I've kind of said this sort of thing before. You just don't see as much of as many of the Freeview channels picking up big shows anymore. You just don't really sort of see it. You do have two examples that go against that slightly, which is the All 4 deal with Adult Swim and the FX, speaking of BBC, the FX deal with BBC, which good timing on that, given the fact that, you know, they've got that deal in place, and that's basically, if you don't know what that's basically for, I think it's any new FX shows that come out are going to be on BBC. Now, they're lucky that they got that signed and sealed before this budget stuff came in and this whole thing about, you know, not attracting younger viewers. The interesting thing there, FX mainly makes shows that are for more mature and older audiences. So that kind of goes against a little bit this problem that they have of attracting young audience, whereas Disney Plus won't have that problem. So I think you can see where I'm going with the gist of this kind of conversation, or gist of this, you know, topic and all that sort of thing. So that's pretty much mainly what I wanted to talk about, and just the fact of, yeah, Freeview. I mean, you look at what Freeview is doing at the moment. You've got ITV that's repeating sporting events from like 20 years ago and from recent years as well. They grabbed the 2018 version of Love Island, which was 1-2 years ago, and they're broadcasting it again, which is, I mean, when you start to do things like that, you know you're struggling for content. And I know this isn't just to do with like, okay, what's more successful or not. There is the coronavirus aspect to this. I'm not completely dismissing that. But the thing is, with channels like BBC and ITV, they just haven't really had that many big shows for a little bit of time. I know that there's small exceptions to that. So smaller shows like Mayans on FX and things like that. With ITV, to me, ITV hasn't had a big show since probably Broadchurch and Downton Abbey. There might be ones that I've missed, maybe, but those, in terms of like awards and things like that, and successful shows that people have actually talked about, those were the last two sort of big ones as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of talk about, is kind of compare and contrast, like, why I think these two things are happening. I just don't think that the Freeview channels either create or import as many shows as what people watch. Now, they haven't completely fallen apart. BBC's had things like, I think it's called Normal People, and they had that other drama with the actress from Chewing Gum, which we talked about this week as well. So they've got a couple of things on there, but it's just clearly not enough. They're clearly not doing or not able to do enough. Whether it's a mixture of the budget cuts or it's to do with the coronavirus or both or whatever the situation may be, that's just kind of the way I'm sort of trying to bring the observation I've made over the last couple of years, which is that you don't see there's nowhere near as many of the bigger shows on Freeview channels as there is with the streaming services. If you go over to Netflix and Netflix and Sky, look at the amount of new content and things they've been able to make, because there's clearly more money available there. Otherwise, how else would they be able to make these new things? And it's interesting with Sky and with Netflix particularly, because they haven't really even tried to slow down with their new releases for stuff. I mean, I'm going slightly off topic here because I've gone away from Disney and BBC, but it just looks like that way to me, as in like, you know, you've got all these Freeview channels, BBC and ITV, which are kind of scraping for content, and then you've got Netflix and Sky and Amazon who are just releasing thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And they just don't even seem to be slowing down, even in the midst of, you know, the situation we're in now, where it's a lot more difficult to make television. But anyway, that's the point I wanted to make. I don't want to go on and on and on for ages. I just wanted to make a short little podcast. But yeah, Disney Plus overachieving. Clearly, you know, you do what you set out to do in 5 years, and you do it in 8 months. You're clearly doing something right. And I think it's the different aspects that I've talked about, the family-friendly stuff and yeah, that sort of stuff. So, and then you got BBC and ITV and the Freeview channels that just really seem to be struggling at the moment. So it is the way it is. But what do you think of the situation? Do you think I'm wrong about certain things? Do you think I'm seeing things in the incorrect sort of way? Do you think this is just sort of a blip for the Freeview channels? I don't think it is, because I've noticed this pattern for at least a couple of years, if not a little bit longer. Just in the way that things have changed for TV. But let me know what you think, your thoughts, feelings, questions, comments on this particular situation. Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's a contact page and information in your show notes as well. So let me know what you think. But that's just the way that I sort of see things. Maybe I've got certain things wrong here. Maybe I've got certain things right. Let me know what you think of the situation. So, but like I said, for BBC, they're quite lucky they got that FX deal in when they could. Otherwise, I don't think they'd necessarily be able to do that now. But I don't know. It's good for them that they've got at least something. So we shall see. Anyway, thank you all very much for listening. You can find everything we got on entertainmenttalk.org. If you'd like to support the podcast and Entertainment Talk, we're on Patreon. You can have a look at the $1 and $3 level tiers for instant podcast, ad-free podcast, and review options. Amazon affiliate link. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, we can get a small cut. It won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds, please rate, review, subscribe to those. Just search for Entertainment Talk. You can also search for Geektown, run by David, on iTunes. For the Geektown radio episodes on Tuesdays, please rate, review, subscribe to both of those feeds, the Entertainment Talk and Geektown feeds. You can also find Geektown news on geektown.co.uk. geektown.co.uk for your up-to-date and reliable TV and film news. Bex is streaming daily, at the moment on Twitch. You can go and follow her, subscribe to her over there. Trista Bytes, Trista, B-Y-T-E-S, Trista Bytes, for all of that stuff that's going on over there at the moment. So subscribe to her, follow her, some good stuff happening over there. Barry is doing horror podcasts on Talk and Stalk if you like your horror content. So go and subscribe to Talk and Stalk, Barry's podcast on YouTube as well. That's not on iTunes, that's on YouTube, so have a look out for that. Word of mouth, if you want to tell people that you know about the website and your iTunes feeds, that really helps us out as well. Social media, you can share them on Facebook and Twitter, and if you can, in different Facebook groups. Let's Play Sundays is on a hiatus at the moment, but there's 50 episodes to look out for, so look for those. I'm streaming currently on Twitch, Ghost of Tsushima, and eventually again Last of Us Part 2. I think that's everything. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.